So this is a spoiler-filled video. Don't watch this if you haven't read the book The Court of Broken Knives, because I want to talk about some things, and I'm only talking about spoilers. So if you haven't read it, go read it. This is your last warning. If for some reason this is on like autoplay and you just heard this and you're like, oh no, I don't want to hear it, now you can click off. Hi, I'm David Desero, and today we're going to be talking about the most interesting things about The Court of Broken Knives. This is a totally spoiler-filled discussion. I feel like if you've read it, come here, leave a comment below. Let's talk about the book. I feel like that's one thing with book reviews is that a lot of times I'll read a book and I'll look up the book review just to hear other people's thoughts, but they can't really spoil anything because it's your average book review. So you could use this like pretend it's a message board, pretend it's a chat room, pretend it's Discord. Discord's great. I will start one of those eventually. But anyways, number one, I think the greatest thing about this story is Mareth. Mareth he's our Jorg-like character, where he's ruthless, violent, he's a prince, he's highborn, he's bisexual. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that in the review. There's representation if you want to read fantasy stories about people who are gay or bisexual. There is, let's see, 2 out of the 4 characters are either gay or bisexual. So if you're looking for that kind of representation in fantasy, in Grimdark fantasy, this book has that. Just throwing that out there. Mareth is like Jorg if Jorg was addicted to drugs, an actual demon, and bisexual. Is Jorg bisexual? I don't think he is, but Mareth is so violent and just messed up. When Mareth takes, I can't remember the guy's name, but the fellow mercenary that he kills in the alleyway, when he takes him out for a drink, I didn't know what to expect. I thought he was going to try to get him drunk and abandon him to go do whatever he wanted to do. And then he puts a knife to his back, walks him into the alleyway, and Anna Smith-Spark describes how this man at one point in time was happy and smiled and, loved things, and now he's going to die. And Mareth just kills him, in cold blood. And then, so you're like, wow, okay, Mareth is messed up. And then he goes and spends all the money on drugs. And then and you're like, holy, wait, what? So he already killed the dragon. And now he murdered somebody, and now he's doing drugs. And then by the halfway point, you see him when they're finally going to kill the emperor, and the mage tries to light everybody on fire, and Mareth is walking through the fire. That was such a badass moment. I was like, I was just like, yes, do it, get him. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed he didn't kill the emperor right there. I feel like you were right there, dude. Just. That's not the sound that would make. It's not. But when you walk through the fire, and then the mage just kind of bursts into flames, or just kind of pops, and Mareth is holding a blade that's on fire. He's holding like a flaming blue blade. Man, it was such a great midpoint. And then from that point on, Mareth is not just some regular guy. He's not just somebody who's severely flawed and somebody who has a dark past. And man, the whole relationship he had with Karen, I'm assuming that's how you say his name, his former lover that he kills, Karen, you could tell it haunts him. It haunts his every moment. It just wrecks him. And then, so after the midpoint, it becomes a love story between him and Thalia. And to be honest, normally, I know a lot of people don't like the instant love, right? You get Thalia and Mareth, they lock eyes, and obviously she's able to influence people's feelings and emotions. And so she was shining. She was like, her face was like glowing. It was so wonderful to look at. And if all he wanted to do was protect her and save her, and he ran over and did basically and said, you know what, guys, she's coming with us. If anybody disagrees, I will kill all of you. and they believed him. They're like, yeah, okay, let's just go. And then, but they seemingly fall in love immediately. But I was into it. I enjoyed it. I was like, you know what? This is good. No, I liked it. I was so happy that Merith can be happy. Like he's such a dark and troubled individual that it was like you see something like that, and then it was like, this is nice. I think the book needed that for just how things were going with all the violence and just how hopeless a lot of people's lives seemed. And I was so happy for Thalia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Talia or Thalia, but she escapes the prison that she had lived in. She is the high priestess, and and she's basically a prisoner. So when she escapes that, and I guess if we're gonna number, I'll try to number this. I'll try to have some kind of organization to this video. So we'll say number 2 is the romance. That was actually really interesting for me. I'm so happy that she got her freedom. She escaped. And it turns out she does have some kind of magical ability. And she runs off with Merith. And then she gives him the confidence to kind of be like, you know what? I am a prince. You know what I should be doing? But I should be ruling. I should be, doing all this stuff and just living a great life and not face down in a gutter somewhere. And she gave him that hope to live. And she saw how dark and messed up he is. And she knows that she's killed children. She's killed, people who volunteer for it, but still kill. And oh man. and then there's the scene where she had to chop off her friend's hands. Was it one hand or two? I don't remember. God. Then she removed her eyes. Was it the hands? I think it was the hands and the eyes. But she has to basically butcher her friend and then leave her in the dark and to be a servant. She was already a servant, but her life just got that much worse because she broke a rule, and Thalia didn't want to seem weak, so she had to carry out the punishment. And that was, from that point on, her story was kind of boring until it got to that part. Once it got to that part, I was just like, wow, okay, she's cutthroat. She's going to be a really interesting character. And she was. And so now clearly it's set up to where she's really Merith's only chance for good. She's his only chance to try to have, I don't know, some kind of redemption or try to be just a regular person. And what messed it up was he seemed like he was good. He seemed like he was doing better. And then Tobias and Rate decided to give him drugs and sell him off to Landra. And that was so disappointing. You could see why they did it. They don't really trust him. They want to get money for him. And they know he's evil. But man, I was so disappointed. I knew it was one of those things where that part of the book, the third quarter of the book, too much good is happening. Merith is dressing Thalia in all of the nicest dresses that he can come across. They're getting good food. They're dancing. They're living a good life, and it's not going to last, and it sucks. But then, so he gets captured, and I'm just like, okay. I'm thinking, there's no way he stays captured. He's gonna do something, and he does. Well, not really. I was thinking, man, how are they going to get out of this? I assumed he was just going to kill everybody. He was going to snap and just murder everybody, but he actually didn't. It was actually Landra's family, a servant from her house, who's, I think her uncle, he's technically a glorified servant, but whatever. He has some clout, and he goes and he finds them and he releases Merith and Thalia. I was just kind of like, okay, where's this going to go? And then you see, okay, so he's going to try to become king now. And from that point, yeah, this video is just going to be, I'm just going to be ranting. I wanted to put numbers or something. It's just going to be a rant. But man, so they have 2 big battles. And I was thinking, okay, there's enough pages left to have a Lord of the Rings style battle. Are they going to Is his father and his father's army going to storm the gates? Are they going to have a really long drawn out battle? Nope, not at all. There's the initial battle where Merith uses his ability as some kind of demon king monster to make everybody go mad and kill each other. That was interesting. I was like, what is happening? What? And then they have the second battle, and it's much more of the same. Everybody goes crazy and starts killing each other. And then he cuts off his father's horse's head and picks it up and shakes it around there and like throws it in there. It's just like, what is happening? Like, what? And it's just so intense, and it's how it's written is still so beautiful, but violent, and man, the last quarter of the book is absolutely just a descent into madness, and I think it was great. Clearly, it seems like, yeah, to me, it seems like his brother Teothin, Teothin will be his arch nemesis throughout the trilogy. I'm assuming, unless it's going to be like, unless somebody else is going to come up. But I'm assuming his brother is. That's why he ran away from the battle. Merith killed his father. I don't like how Anna Smith Spark kind of just told that part, like, and he killed his father, and just like, I think that was important enough. I wish that would have been like fleshed out a little more. I wonder why she did that. I wonder why she made that choice. But man, and just trying to think of other really intense moments of the book. I mean, obviously, it was really cool in the beginning when Merith slayed the dragon. It was like a lesser dragon. It was like a baby dragon or a drake or, something smaller, but he killed it, man. And then he has that other moment where he kills an innocent family. The mercenaries are sitting there and they're like, we need to break into a home, but who's down to just kill an entire innocent family? Merith was just like, okay, but I get the best bed. And then he went and did it. Killed, there's like two couples, there was like a few children, and an infant baby. It's like, oh man. I mean, if you hadn't already got the hint that he's evil, I think there it is, up on a silver platter. Hey, deep down inside, this guy is a monster. Just so you know, I feel like that was just the message. And somehow, through all of it, you kind of really want to see him happy, I guess. It's like he does so many messed up things, but somehow you're still like during the romance part, you're really rooting for him and Thalia to like live happily ever after. It's not going to happen. I would be very surprised if he doesn't die at the end. Like, of the trilogy, I feel like he's done too much that he's going to have to sacrifice himself at the end for something. I would be very surprised if he survives this trilogy. But who knows? I mean, it could go anywhere. So if you've read it, which you should have because you watched the video, if you didn't, if for some reason you didn't read it and then you watched the video, even with the spoilers, just go read it. Just go read it. And I will leave links down below if for some reason you haven't already got it. But let's talk about the book. In the comments below, let me know what you thought was the most exciting part or most interesting part or most beloved part. Let me know what you thought. Maybe you hated it. Maybe you loved it. Just what did you think about the story? Feel free to spoiler it up down below. We could talk. And until next time, later.